This talk for me today is going to be a call to arms of how I see the fitness industry evolving and how you maybe see your roles in the fitness industry. So just as an idea, how many people in here are a personal trainer or coach or therapist or whatever? Third of the room, and the rest of you are like general public, that kind of stuff. Okay, cool. That's absolutely fine. So I am largely a nutrition coach, business owner, do lots of stuff on social media, and I'm involved in the industry probably in a fairly big way, which is probably why I've got a microphone here today. And recently I've been really good at putting on a brave face about the industry, because there's a lot of stuff in this industry that fucks me off. Really annoys me. And a lot of it is kind of in this building today. A lot of it's on social media. It's about how we're behaving and doing what we do. And I don't really think it should be like that. The fitness industry for me was created to inspire change in other people. We are currently in an epidemic of obesity, male suicide, diabetes. Like, nothing's that great on the ground level when it comes to nutrition and health. You walk around this room and it's completely polarizing because everyone in this room is fairly fit and healthy. We're all in the gym, people have got big muscles and shit. But that's like literally 2% of the population. And the reason why I bring this up is because as a fitness industry and as people that are into fitness, I have to raise the question, what roles are we playing in actually moving the industry forward? Moving ourselves forward, moving the people around us that we can impact. If you're a coach, that's your clients. If you're not, it's your friends, it's your family, all those types of characters. So I don't believe that every day I should have to gamble with how I feel about my job in the industry and the things that I do. These are the signs that you get outside of, like, you know, toilets and service stations and service businesses, and you go, oh, how happy was my service today? And you think about your day and I think about my day, and I think, oh, if I've just finished my day, it's 5 o'clock, how do I feel about it? And too often I'm over here and I'm like, why? Why do I feel angry and negative and frustrated with what I do within my role? And it might be partly because I'm fighting an uphill battle a lot of the time and it doesn't feel that there's enough people on that same wave going, yeah, this is the drum we need to be banging. These are the problems that we face. This is what people are genuinely struggling with. And it's not how do they get their six-pack solution. So there's a big problem with narcissistic behavior traits in the fitness industry. This room, this body power is full of them. And the thing is it doesn't help anyone. It helps the person that is engaged in that process, the individual looking at themselves in the mirror, but it's not actually helping the greater good. And it's amazing how many kind of selfish people are in the fitness industry, which is an industry that's meant to really give to other people, inspire other people, educate other people to move them forward. So it's kind of a little bit of a broken model in some places. So in my head, when I think about my job and I think about fitness and health, I feel that I should be lifting people up. I feel that I should be caring for them, nourishing them, trying to find a way to help them change, whether it's a bit of information, a bit of inspiration, etc. And I don't actually see enough of this going on. I see a huge amount of this. I see a huge amount of dicks in the fitness industry. And there's lots of different sides to the fitness industry, I get it. I was speaking at BFit Expo last weekend, completely different side of the fitness industry, an amazingly inspirational event with how they're talking a lot about mental well-being and what people's goals actually are, and that kind of sort of more female influencer, blogger, food aspect of Instagram that we're seeing a lot. And you don't get this. In our industry, you get lots of this and then fucking loads of that. Everyone's under the table, cock jerking each other. Oh yeah, that was really funny. That was really brilliant. Oh, it was really great how you just gave one sentence answer to that person on Facebook. Yeah, they do need to go and count calories. The thing is, it's not helping anyone. This behavior is not changing anything. It's just feeding into everyone being really narcissistic and out for themselves. And I don't want to see that in this industry. It doesn't feel right. I'm a coach that cares. The only reason I'm stood in this room is because I used to be obese, now I'm not. had loads of health troubles, now I don't. And I don't want other people to have what I had. I want them to have what I got as a result of investing time and energy into the fitness industry. So I want to see change, and rather than moaning about it and getting fucked off by myself, I thought, right, I've got a microphone at Body Power, I'm going to get on stage, I'm going to have a moan, and I apologise, this is a massive moan. I'm going to film it, and we're going to put it on the internet. So let's look at the social media environment, which is where a lot of fitness conversations are being had. The people that are behaving in the way that I've just described are usually giving responses like this to people on the internet. You've got a mum, she's got 2 kids, she's busy, she's struggling with her weight, and you see comments like, just get outside and move more, eat less, download MyFitnessPal, just these blanket comments that are not helping anyone. Everyone knows how to lose weight. No one's a complete fucking idiot that they know that they are eating too much. Everyone knows that. The problem is people are struggling with how to release themselves from their food demons, their environment, their attachment to food, all this kind of stuff. So you sitting here in the room today, I don't want you to be part of this level of change. We need to be giving a lot more to other people. If we don't have the time to give to people at that moment, come back to it. Like if you said to yourself, oh, I just writ that quickly on that post because I didn't have time, you're better off saying nothing rather than something, because you're not truly giving something to that person that can really tangibly benefit them. So I raised the question, where have these people learnt their coaching skills? And the thing is, people haven't learned how to coach. Coaching is firstly a science. There's stuff that we use to apply the frameworks, but otherwise it's an art. And the art of coaching is understanding people and their drivers. If any one of you are my client, I have to understand what your deep down drivers are. Emotionally, your belief system, your value system, literally what makes you a person, because the methods and techniques I will use will completely differ from that person to the next, especially in the language that we use. Language is everything. The way that you say something completely changes how it is heard by that person. So this, for me, is the new frontier of health and fitness learning. People need to go on a journey to learn coaching skills. I know, you know, that a calorie deficit is the answer to weight loss, but how are you going to coach that? How are you going to implement that? How are you going to get them to understand? How are you going to get them to identify with their why? That's a totally different ballgame, and that takes time. And if you're not invested in being able to give that time to that person, you shouldn't be a coach, leave the industry. You're doing more harm than good. So mindset's everything. All I've really learned on a personal level over the last 2 to 3 years is everything I can about the human mind and behaviour. My current man crush on YouTube is Jordan B. Peterson. Anyone knows who he is? Loads more people will know who he is now. He's a great guy. He's a psychologist, originally from America, I think, and now he's in Canada. He's one of the most fucking intelligent guys on the planet. He's incredible. He's written a book, and now he just gets really irate on social media and talks about some incredible stuff. I'd recommend you follow him. But the reason why I'm investing so much time in learning this kind of material is I know how people need to lose weight. I know how people need to train. I know loads of this stuff. The key to me being an incredible coach or not is finding the way and the why that they're going to be able to implement that change. That's it. So if I can understand everything about the person that's sitting in front of me and how their brain works, how they think, how they feel, the environment, the struggles they have, the pain, then I can really help that person. Really help that person. So I think this is the new frontier, and if you feel that you're kind of weak in this area, on a personal level, and on a level as a coach, you need to go away and learn this information. It's absolutely fundamental to your development. And on a personal level, you have to go through this journey yourself before you can truly help someone else. When I work with clients, I ask for 2 things when they start with me. One is that from today, right now, they up their standards. So what I mean by this is anyone right now, you sitting here will have a standard for living of your life. The way that you view your body, how much you value your body, how much you love yourself. So our value is placed somewhere. My value for living is very, very high. I have a very high standard for my health and my body. And when you have that, you make totally different decisions every day that lead to the outcome that you want, which is within your standard framework. Most of the clients that we might work with, that I work with, their standard for their living is fucking here. So for them to make decisions to change, it's really hard because they've literally got no reason to change. They don't value making those changes. They don't value the outcome. So I say to a client, I say, I need to want you to want to be really healthy, happy, and thrive. And I'm not going to say that we can do it in 2 or 3 months. We can't. But we might be able to work at it at the next 1 to 2 years, and you will get life-changing results. Now, the reason why I say that is if you're a coach or someone that's inspiring other people and you haven't truly gone on this journey yourself, your standard is actually a lot lower than you think it is because your behaviours are evident to your clients. If I don't do what I practice, I cannot stand here on stage and inspire you properly to take a different level of action, because you will subconsciously look at me and go, he's not in that great a shape. He doesn't know what he's talking about. I can't see the proof in the pudding and the results that he's getting. So consciously you might be taking in my words and thinking one thing, but subconsciously your brain on every level is saying, do not do what that guy's saying, because it obviously doesn't work. So coaches have to go on their own journey first before they can truly understand and give to their clients, because their clients will meet them where the coach is at, because that's where they set their level of standards. So when you do this, you also are able to really start to put yourself into a client's shoes. When you behave in a coaching framework with any form of narcissism, and you're not fully invested in that person that's in front of you, you will never truly meet them at their level. So as a coach, my job is to literally see this person, have a look at the assessment forms and everything, and literally for 10 seconds close my eyes and go, right, I need to model myself into this person's body. I need to be able to visualize their pain, their anguish, what they go through, what their daily routines are like, their struggles, everything. Because until I can do that, I can't truly help this person. I can't understand. This is something I learned the hard way. I started out as a young coach. I started out as a personal trainer when I'm 20. And when you're a 20-year-old young buck into fitness, you do not understand other people. You just haven't had enough life experience. But we need to try and accelerate that, because waiting 5, 6, 7, 8 years for you to have that life experience is too long. And you want to be better, quicker as a coach. So when you're standing in front of your clients, or you're standing in front of your friends, your family, people that you're trying to help, ask yourself, have I fully, on every level, met where this person is at? Do I understand and feel their pain? When I had a 40-year-old woman with 3 kids, busy job, not sleeping properly, in front of me as a young coach, and I'm sitting there going, well, why can't you just follow the diet plan? Why can't you come personal training at that time? Why can't you do this? Make the time. It's not as easy for someone in their situation. It's easy for me, and because I'm already at a different level, it's a lot harder for them, because this is where they're at. So we need to make sure we're really putting people in other people's shoes, because coaching is about understanding the systems that we need to change. Now, with this process, you need to make sure that you, on every level, are truly listening. Here's a way to know if someone listens or not. And you'll do it with me. I'll be out there answering questions after this talk. You will come up to me, you will ask a question, and I will stand there and I will listen, and I will process, and I will think about what you've said, and then I will reply. How often are you talking to someone and before you've even finished, they start regurgitating their opinion and what they think you should do and yada yada yada? That person it's impossible. That person has not fully listened and processed what you've said. So they cannot truly give the right kind of well thought out answer. I'll use a different example. This guy I mentioned, Jordan B. Peterson, you watch some of his YouTube interviews, and sometimes the interviewer will say, dude, why are you taking so long to answer the question? And he'll almost get mocked on live TV. And he's like, because I want to give the right answer. And I think that's brilliant. And the guy is so well thought out. It's like poetry to watch on how he communicates his ideas and his ideals. And what he does is someone will ask him a question. He'll sit there for literally 2, 3, 4 seconds, and then he'll be like, but he's had time to process it. And if you think about the beauty of this in a coaching framework, we've then had time ourselves to actually process what is actually happening with this person and how they're saying it. Again, with clients, they will say something, and it doesn't mean they necessarily mean it. You need to listen to how they've said it. Like the tone in their voice. Did it go up or down? Did you sense pain in their voice? Did their voice kind of tremble? Like all of these things are indicating deeper levels of what's happening in someone's life, other than the fact of, I want to lose weight. So part of this is learning how to kick your ego in the face. This is a great book, by the way. He's written another book called The Obstacle is the Way. The ego is dangerous. You cannot change your ego. Most of us are too old to kind of change that shit. So you need to understand it, give it a massive hug, say this is who I am, and then you need to work out how to leverage and work with that as best as possible. There's no point trying to fight it. I think I do things a certain way as a person. There's no point me fighting it. It's inbuilt. It's already been programmed from my childhood, my upbringing, etc., etc. So you've got to work out how to do this. Now moving forward, these are other behaviour traits I hate seeing in the fitness industry. No one can have a rational conversation anymore. Everything's an instant argument. Everything's an instant shut down, you're an idiot, read this research. It's not really helping anyone. So, I'll give you an example. My first exposure to the fitness industry and a fitness course was Paul Chek. Man, that guy has some crazy ideas. He's got stuff that I do not agree with. He's got techniques I would not use. But it doesn't mean I think the guy's a dick. Doesn't mean all his work over the last 30 years is redundant. It means that the likelihood is 80 to 90% of what me and Paul Chek would maybe discuss as professionals, we would agree upon. But there's 10-20% that we would disagree upon approaches, belief systems, what we value the most, that kind of thing. And in the fitness industry, we rarely see that. If I sit here and have a conversation with you and you're like, we start to disagree on how someone should squat, doesn't mean the guy's a dick. He just has a slightly differing form of opinion. But all of a sudden, everything else is completely discounted because we disagree on one thing. And the thing is all our clients and people around us are constantly seeing this behaviour, and everyone's going off in loads of different directions. It's not helping anyone. You ask any client what's going on, and whether they've got any clarity on what to eat and why, all your clients are confused. Think they know the answer, they're all confused because we're all arguing about the fucking 2% that are usually a difference of coaching approach. And there's nothing wrong with coaching clients differently. I've done an interview a couple of times with Lane Norton, and me and Lane Norton very much disagree on our initial coaching approaches. But the thing is that no one understands is mine and Lane Norton's clientele is completely different. He's a physique coach, I am not. So where you would start with that client is completely different. But it doesn't mean I don't discount his approach. His approach is logical and rational for his framework and the clients that he usually deals with. And hopefully my approach is logical for the clients that I usually deal with. So please don't forget the people around you, the people that have helped you, the people that you do respect in some ways, but you just differ in opinion. It's also called being a good human being. And what this boils down to is not enough of the fitness industry is actually working together. How many of us feel that we genuinely have an awesome support network and framework in our fitness environment and family that is all working together for the common cause? Some of you might think, yeah, like we're kind of getting there maybe, I could do with a few more contacts, a better network. But incredible things happen when you work together. But you can't work together when you're being a narcissist. I'll use a different example. I'm currently going through an evolution in my business as a practitioner. I'm thinking a lot about what I want to do in my future and where I want to go and how I want to do it. And I'm involved in a 12-month business program. And in this business program, everyone there is kind of entrepreneurial, driven, wants to do the best for themselves. They're highly motivated, highly skilled people. But none of them do not help everyone else first. Everyone in this room is working together. So I was there on Friday. There's 90 people in this room that are doing incredible things, but everyone is working together. Because they know that if everyone lifts themselves up, everyone wins. And at the fitness industry at the moment, apparently for some reason, there needs to be winners and there needs to be losers. Why? Why can't everyone win? Why can't everyone have a great personal training business? Why can't everyone be happy, healthy, strong, loved, all that kind of shit? People aren't allowing that to happen because there's too much narcissistic behavior. When we create this, the people that feel alienated by the fitness industry are allowed and have permission to change. That's why I think group exercise is amazing, and CrossFit and things like that, the kind of places that build community and allow people to thrive because they have a support system. So we need to appreciate that amazing things happen when people work together. People are inspired. The energy is completely infectious. So please think about your business, what you're doing, or who you work with, and can I work more aligned with other people? Because this isn't helping the message online. Everyone's confused. But if we all started to communicate more efficiently, effectively, and appreciate each other and just work out the details, there would be less confusion, there would be less pissing contests, and our clients would be benefiting. And it's really the clients that matter. But most people are not thinking about the client, they're thinking about themselves. They're thinking about themselves and winning. Oh, I've got to win this argument on Facebook so I look the best. We're not thinking about the person that we're actually trying to help as a result of this process that we are going through, which might be a debate on the internet. So don't get me wrong. I know a lot of these challenges in the fitness industry come from the fact that we don't have enough rational thinking. We don't have enough common sense, and we don't have enough evidence-based practice. So I get that it works both ways. I fully appreciate that. We do need to make sure that we are grounding the advice that we give in sensible, rational, proven, nutritional, fitness, mindset science. So if you're not fully aware of kind of evidence-based practice and how the kind of model works, then evolve themselves with it. It also allows you to create, if you pay attention to it properly, a rational conversation, a rational argument. Because if you don't approach an argument in the right way or a conversation in the right way, people put up their wall. No one's being helped by having their belief system or what they believe in thrown in their face and say, that's broken, you're an idiot, I'm not an idiot, listen to me. No one responds to that. Veganism is a perfect example. Veganism is often a system that is followed with a strong belief system. So people that are vegan sometimes will believe quite often that killing animals is harmful. They don't want to see that happen. They want to see a more plant-based ecosystem, etc. So what happens is people get very attached to that system because of their beliefs, and they press upon other people with their beliefs. So it can come across as very strong. I've had messages on Facebook where I've been called a cow rapist, that I'm killing animals, that I should die, all sorts of stuff. And at no point am I going to listen to that person rationally and say, hey, yeah, let's have a chat about these animals that I'm murdering. Message me and start to say, hey Ben, have you looked at this research on, the plant-based movement? I've done it personally, I've experienced this, and this is happening, and did you know this about our food ecosystem, and yada, yada, yada. Now we're having a conversation. Now we can find some common ground. We might not agree at the end of it, and that's absolutely fine, but we might start to bridge this gap in the middle where this person is and where I'm at. So we need to approach these conversations in the right way. Like if you commented on one of my social media posts and said, hey Ben, I've kind of got a difference of opinion here. I kind of think this, I've read this, I've seen this has happened. I'm like, sweet, let's have a conversation. If you say, you're a gimp, that doesn't work, do this, you're an idiot, we're not in conversation. How do we even respond to that? So at no point are we now moving the industry forward. We're not evolving our understanding as a unit and moving forward effectively. So in this process, we do need to accept that ideas and things change. I've drunk my own Kool-Aid. I was at a seminar a little while ago and someone said to me, I've never listened to a podcast before, where should I start? And I said, well, it makes sense if you can to start at episode 1, because you kind of go on a bit of a journey and you'll learn a lot of cool shit. And I stood back and I was like, episode 1 was 5.5 years ago of my podcast. That's an awful long time. And I thought to myself, I wonder if I would change how I would say some of the stuff that I said back then. So I went back and started listening to all my old podcast shows, and I've deleted about 80 episodes of stuff that I'm not happy with. I'm not happy with the way that I said it and how the user might kind of listen to it and respond to it. So I'm not standing here saying I've got it all worked out. I'm evolving just like everyone else. One of the things that stood out to me a lot on my old podcast is that I kind of had a bit of a phobia or believe that carbohydrate intake should be limited, and that there was kind of an effect between insulin and potentially what's happening with fat storage. Now, quite a while ago, I learned that wasn't the case. I became more aligned with some more factual information. So I had to go back and correct that information, because I don't want people listening to the wrong kind of stuff. So we do need to accept that if we want to approach this and take this on board, we do need to be open to the changes around us. Now, one of the reasons I bring all this up is I believe that everyone deserves to live their best life. That's kind of why I do what I do. I don't mind if you're into powerlifting, CrossFit, you're an accountant, or you're a personal trainer. It doesn't bother me. What I want to see everyone in this room do is live their best life. And the reason why I bring up the industry and what's happening and the changes that I want to see is because I see a lot of people not living with purpose and passion every day. And the reason why I had a sad smiley face at the beginning of this talk is because there's days where I'm like, I don't feel passionate today. And I should do. Why don't I feel passionate? And today, just being on this stage, I'm trying to create an action that allows me to see more positive change, and I know that I will keep retaining my passion for the industry and what I'm doing. But if you're sitting here today in your coaching business, your career, or whatever, you're struggling to be passionate about it, ask if what you're doing is the right thing for you. I'll give a perfect example that I see happen a lot in the fitness industry. So a huge amount of people got into the fitness industry to help and coach other people, which is absolutely awesome. But a lot of these people are quite often struggling with their income, their personal training business isn't going that great, and they see everyone else doing stuff on the internet, shiny things, like, ooh, I'm going to be an online coach. And I'm like, okay, cool. And they start to become an online coach, and then they're struggling a bit, and they're doing a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and now they're even further away from their why, and they're not happy because they're working too much, they're struggling with 2 different businesses, and they're not really doing what they felt they really want to do in the fitness industry. So I might sit down with a personal trainer and have a bit of a business chat with them and say, tell me and describe why you got into your job, and what fires you up most about your job. Oh, well, I got into it because I want to help people and yada, yada, yada. And nothing makes me feel more alive than working with a client, sitting in front of them, and when that kind of penny drops and they jump on the scales and they've lost 3 stone, to see that I've changed something tangible in front of them. I'm like, okay, let me take that. How would your business look if you did that every hour of every day? Oh, well, I'd probably have about 30 really good, high-quality one-to-one coaching clients. Okay, so why is your business now looking nothing like that? And I bring that up because this person is struggling with being high. And I'm like, stop getting caught up with shiny things on the internet and changing business models when you are moving it further and further away from your why. Because we need to wake up every day and live passionately about what we do. If if not, we need to change it. We need to be brave and not get caught up in what everyone else is doing. So I've done this myself. I'm learning a lot about what I do and why I do it, and we have to go through phases where we reconnect with our purpose. We had a business called Body Type Nutrition, and I said, does that name, does what we do serve our purpose still? And we all said, no, it doesn't. It's changed. We've changed. Things have changed. The industry's changed. So we said, right, what do we want to do? We don't want to coach anymore as a business. We want to just teach. That's all we want to do. We want to teach nutrition that changes lives. So we decided that we had to move away from the identity that we had, which is hard. It's hard to change identity. I get it. It's scary. It's the unknown. It's what you built. So we changed things. We said, right, let's just become a nutrition-only company. Let's change how we look, how we feel, because we want to stay passionate and stay connected to our why every day. So we had to pivot. So ask yourself, are you living your why? Do you feel passionate? Do things need to change? Do you need to make some hard decisions? Because ultimately, I'm assuming we're all here to potentially help other people and help ourselves. So when we do this, when we start to connect with what we're doing, and when we start to adopt some of the behaviours that I've talked about quite a bit in today's talk, hopefully we start rowing a lot more in the same direction. Because I see a huge amount of us rowing in totally different directions. And again, it's not helping us, and it's not helping everyone else that is paying attention to the words that are coming out of our mouth and trying to work out just literally maybe how to just lose some weight. So I suppose this is a pipe dream of mine that I want to see this happen. And I want to see this happen because if we look at why the industry's here to solve these problems. And how much of us, hand on heart, can say we're honestly making a meaningful contribution to these problems? This shit really scares me at the moment. The statistics in mental health and people struggling with anxiety, depression, and it leading to like suicide and stuff, it just shouldn't be happening at the level it is. Don't get me wrong, it will happen, it's always happened. But it's, for me, at pandemic levels. And we're only seeing it from the people that are actually talking about it. A huge amount of people still don't feel they're in a safe place to talk about their mental well-being. They're not willing and happy and in an environment where they can be vulnerable. And that's a massive problem. And I want to help this stuff. Because I've been there, I've had all of that. Not heart disease, yeah. So how are we creating an impact? It's just something I want you to think about. If you are a coach in the room, I do think there needs to be a journey, a model where you follow. Yes, you know that you need to go through the basics, and I think everyone has to be trained adequately in nutrition because that's where a lot of the change needs to come from with your client. You have to invest time in learning how to create behavior change and helping people master their mindset. And then after that, you have to nail business acumen. Everyone has to understand business. It's been a dirty word for a long time, but the thing is, business, money makes the world go round. We cannot avoid that. And there's no reason why we all can't be successful. Again, business is quite often about winners and losers. How about we all win? Without good business sense, your business falls apart, your career isn't sustainable, you're not well catered for, you don't have systems and processes that you follow with your clients. So make sure that is how you map yourself into the industry, and then specialize after that. If you're into movement, cool, do S&C or biomechanics or, you know, really advanced nutrition, maybe GP referral, whatever it is. But the basic framework has to be done. And I can imagine there's a huge amount of people that have maybe done up to step 3 and we're maybe not getting this well enough yet. And if anyone asked me how I would feel I've been successful, I would say I've tried my best to understand people, because people make the world go round, and I work in the service-based industry, and I've understand how to grow a business, how to grow a team, how to scale systems, etc. So I want to talk about technology in the future and mental well-being, because mental well-being came up on that slide. Now, These are great tools. The thing that we have in our pocket gives us access to incredible information, incredible apps, etc. But the problem is like anything, we need to know how to manage it and almost periodize our use. I know so many people that have massive amounts of anxiety about social media, that notification that pops up on their phone, or is it positive, is it negative, has something happened? And it's always there. Social media is relentless, right? So I will be honest and say that I've experienced anxiety over social media. Loads of stuff comes up, you're like, oh, I hope it's positive, I'm already having a shit day, I don't want to see more shit. What I like to do, and what I have to do, and what I instill on my clients, is that you have to manage your use of this kind of stuff, because we can be totally connected to it. Research says we're on our phones 2 hours a day. The average person's on our phone 2 hours a day. That is a huge, huge amount of time. And the problem is, it's now part of our environment. So your social media, your phone, the things that you're following and looking at, it now is changing your behavior. It's changing your thoughts. It's changing how you feel. Whether it's not always consciously, it might be subconsciously. So think about all the people that you follow on social media. I tell all of my clients, if you see something on Facebook and you don't like that person, you don't like what they talk about, you don't align with the person or the company or the brand or the product, unfollow it. Because we've all been on social media a long time and you tend to accumulate stuff that you follow. We need to go through phases where you declutter. You have a binge, you get rid of friends you don't like or pages that you follow. And I'll happily tell a client, I'm like, if you listen to my podcast and you're still listening to it out of habit and my podcast isn't serving your journey and your needs, stop listening to me. There's no point. You're not serving and facilitating your own needs and journey. So ask yourself about the technology in your pocket, and is everything that you're using, following, seeing still being positive for you? Because otherwise we lose momentum as coaches. We have our mental well-being affected. I love nothing more than putting my phone on aeroplane mode. It's like almost one of the most favourite parts of my day. Ask yourself now, sitting here, would you like to be outside more, do more of your hobbies, get outside in the fresh air, live with a bit more adventure, have maybe a little bit more fun, maybe work a tiny bit less? Hands up if you'd like that. Look around you, that's like literally 95% of the room. And I'll keep my hand up, I'm the same. None of this stuff happens until we create better boundaries. And the technology is part of the problem because it's always there. We might have half an hour free when, like, out of habit, we just get out our phone and go onto Facebook. Well, how about we break that habit and go, fuck it, I'm going to go for a walk outside. Probably far more enjoyable than some of the tripe that's being posted on Facebook. I'm not saying you do that all the time, I'm just trying to make you think objectively today about your environment and where you want to move towards. And from a business and a personal development perspective, this is when incredible stuff happens. No one gets great ideas and clarity stuck at home or in their phone or in their work. This is when the cool stuff happens. When I go on holiday or I go out for a canoe for the afternoon or I just do something cool, that's when I get clarity and my energy changes, because my energy is allowed to do what it wants to do rather than my energy being programmed by influences that I'm getting quite often from the technology that I'm viewing. So, moan over. What do I want from today? I want to see change. That's why I wanted to do this talk, that's why I wanted to film it, and that's why hopefully we'll see some support for it on the internet. I want me, myself, and you to be the change that you want to see in the industry. We are health and fitness industry. We're meant to be making people healthier, happier, and lifting anxiety, not creating more anxiety. But it starts with being a nice human being. It starts with, yes, ourselves. We have to be the best version of ourselves, but we've then got to care for others, nourish others on their journey. But to do that, we have to understand people, behavior, and their individual environments. And to do that, you need to develop your skills as a coach in the art of coaching and not just the science of coaching.